Hello and welcome. Here I'm going to be talking about sharing files internally and externally from both OneDrive and from Teams, and how we might go about doing that. Some best practice things for how to share them appropriately, and really understand what you're doing when you're sharing files, and how to audit that yourself, how to look at what you've got shared out and decide when you want to remove that access, that type of thing. So it's important to understand the whole sharing concept around OneDrive and Teams, and just so you're aware of that. So I'll dive into that a little bit first, and then I'm going to show you how to actually get those files out to people that you need to collaborate with. So firstly, in the normal portal, it works exactly the same way through the Windows Explorer as it does the portal. I'm going to use the portal for this exercise, but the concepts are exactly the same. So let's have a look first of all at the shared item here. And you can see if I look at shared and say by you, there's nothing in there yet. We haven't shared anything out with anybody as yet. But I'm going to use this as a reference point to look at what we've been sharing and how we've been sharing it. So if we go back to My Files and we have a look at the documents here, it works on the basis that it creates links, and the links that you send to people, when someone clicks on that link, it accesses back into your OneDrive or a Teams scenario, decides if that person has access to them, are they the right person, based on what the parameters we put on the link actually is, and then it will give them access appropriately from there. So we're going to take this file here. We've got test files. We've got this file here called box call file. Now, if we go into this item here, that is the straight share option. But I'm going to go here first of all and have a look at manage access. So once we do that, you'll be able to see who owns the file, what the people got access to it, and the links that we've created. And you can see there is nothing in there at the moment. That file is not shared out, which is exactly right. We looked in the shared options there and we saw that we aren't sharing any files. So that is correct. So we're going to share this one with, firstly, we're going to share it with Bob internally, and then I'm going to share it with an external party as well and show you how those things work out. So first of all, we'll go in here and say share, and you get this very simple little dialog box come up. Now, what we're interested in here is this item here, and you can see anyone with the link can edit. Because what it's going to do for us is whatever parameters we put in here for the names, it's going to create a link accordingly. So I can put anything I want in here with Bob Jones, and so as long as if it says anyone with a link can edit, I do the copy link, it creates the link for me, and of course anybody with that link can then access that file. This is not the best way to do file structures really. What we would prefer to do is click on that, and you can say, well, anybody in the company, anybody with existing access if we're updating it from like view to edit, or people we choose. And I always like to stress that people you choose is the best option. It gives you a bit more control over what's going on in terms of the files. So we're going to say the sharing settings for this file is going to be people you choose, and these people can edit. So that's okay. So we'll apply that, and you can see that changes down the bottom here. So say people you specify can edit, which will give us the item for Bob there as well. Now we can either put a message in here and say, hey Bob, here's the link to the file, or we can hit copy link. These two buttons are like the OK or the go button for both of them. So if we say copy link here, what it will do is go ahead and process that. And you can see on this left-hand side here, it's created the link and it's given the access to those people. So what I would do is I would then cut and paste that link into an email and send it to Bob and say, here's the link that you require. I could put it in a chat window in Teams, just get it over to him, essentially is what we're doing here. So if we were to do that just real quickly, we'd come in here and we'll search for Bob and just put that in effectively, and you can see how that would then be sent to Bob like so. Now if we come back here though, you can see now if we then come out of that, bearing in mind that because we clicked on the copy link button, that share is now active for that. And I'll go back to the manage access. And you can see here for manage access, you can see that Bob is now listed as a person, and you can see he can edit. Now we can go and change that. We can actually just go and edit what we need to in here. If we want to change any of these items here, we can. As you can see, we've got a link there, and we can say who does it work for. We can take people out and do what we need to do there. But what I want to show you is in the links option here, this is a section saying these are the links that have been created that work for certain people. And if we create more of them, you're going to see more of them appear. But I can recopy that link and resend it to Bob if I need to. But essentially what we're saying here is that the people have access. You can see there's Bob with his access because we've shared it with him. And the links appropriately there, we can then recopy those out. So that's a good place to come back to and view those. And of course, we can hit stop sharing and sort of block everything in one hit if we need to. But for external people, we also need to do exactly the same thing. And what we would do, though, is we go here and we hit share again. We get the same thing. And let's say we want to send it to somebody externally. And this one here. Now, when I put that in, you can see straight away it says this person is outside of your organization. So you do get that note to say this person is outside. Are you sure you want to do this? Because what we then do is we'll go and click on here and we will say, if we said people in Cozy Mouse, that is not going to work for that setting because that person is not in Cozy Mouse. So of course that's not going to work. So in this case, I'm going to choose people you choose again and we'll say can edit, but I'm going to say can only view the file. They can't change anything of it. And also I'm going to make a block download to say that person cannot download that file to their local machine either. So really all we're doing is allowing that external person just to view the file and nothing else. They can't do anything else with it. And we hit apply there. Now, I might choose to send this one. I might say copy link, but I might say, hi, here is the link. Let me see, Buck, and we hit send. And that will be on its way. Now, once I come back in here and I hit the manage access again, you'll see that that doesn't show up. That person does not show there. Now, that's quite important because it shows up in the link instead. And you can see here, there's the link, external user, person who had the link can view the file but can't download. And this works for this external user. And there's the link that we can hit copy on. And we can then obviously send that on if need to. Now, note that they don't show up in this people here because they're not part of the organization. So it will show up on this side as well. So once we're done with that, and we decide we don't want that person to have access anymore, we could just hit stop sharing, but that's going to kill it off for everybody. We might just say, okay, we're done with that. Thanks for reviewing. Thank you very much. And then we would just hit the remove link. I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to come back to something else before I hit that. And that is, if you're wondering then, say, go back to documents and you've forgotten about it. It's a little while later and you want to say, well, what am I sharing? What do I actually have out there? So we go back into the shared item here and we hit by you and you can see, oh, look at that. There's our file. There's the one that is shared out. And if we go in there, sorry, that'll just download it. We don't need to do that. If we go in here and we just hit manage access, then we can access that information from there as well. So in this case, I will hit links and I'll say we're done with this one. So we're going to hit the remove link. Bam. And off we go. Now, if that person that's external does click on that link, they will just get the note to say access denied. You can't get into that file anymore, and it's done. So it's a good idea to go through over time and just have a look at what you're sharing and just remove links that are a little bit redundant. And just as a best practice scenario, you don't want to have things left open forever because people can obviously go in there and see that file. No matter what you change on that, you could change it and put something confidential in there and you'd never know that it was shared unless you go into these things and just keep a close eye on what you're doing. So let's now open up Teams and suppose we want to take this directory, which is living in the conference channel and sales team, and we want to be able to collaborate that with someone that is not part of the sales team and also for an external party. So what we do first of all is let's have a look at that and have a look at manage access. And we'll see who has got rights to it currently. And you can see it's not been shared with anybody directly. And you can see there's no links there. But the group structure does show that anybody that is the members or the owners, obviously, of the sales team can have access to it. So what we're going to do here, we'll go here and say share. And same sort of thing. We've got people in Cozy Mouse with the link can edit. Now, if we click on that, you'll notice that the anyone option has been removed. But you can see that obviously the people in Cozy Mouse, we can send a link out so anybody in the organization can edit, or we might want to say just people we choose. Now that's obviously the preference. You'll know that from the previous session. and we might say they can we'll edit. We want them to collaborate on this, and we'd hit apply there, and we put in Kyber. As you can see here, Kyber dog, and hit the copy link. Now we can copy the link. We can give it to this person on chat or whatever, or we can have them send a message. But you can see what it's done already because we've hit one of these two buttons. Remember that it's actually done the job for us. And if I go here and say manage access, you'll see that now CyberDog is one of these people, and there's the active link. As you can see there, that is the link for that person as well. So that is now an active share with that one person. Now, same way, we would go and do the share, and I could quite easily say, okay, good, people choose again, and hit that they can view and block the download, apply that, and I can put in those other details of the external party. Like so, just hit next on there, and you can see we'll just copy the link as well. And of course that will then, you can see this is now changed. If I come back out of here and then have a look at the manage access component, you'll see that we don't show up that person inside the people because once again, they're not part of the organization, so they won't show up here. But on the link side, they certainly do. And that's where that external party comes in. So I can manage the access for this external user just by controlling what's going on here. And you can see here, I can even go and have a look at different options and things as well. If I want to, I can say, well, actually, you know what? We're going to allow you to edit and obviously make changes to that. Hit apply, change it. Now, the link is still the same and the link is still valid, but the way the link behaves is going to be slightly different based on what we've just changed in there. Now, the thing to be aware of here is that we can manage this link, obviously. If we go into here or we'll just come back and hit the manage access, obviously. However, what we can't see is if I'm in this section here and see the files that are shared, you can see by you, it's not going to show up in here because it's part of Teams. It's not part of our own personal OneDrive. So it becomes a little bit harder to manage in terms of what people have access to and how things are shared out. There are things in the background in terms of the admin for the M365 thing that administrators would do to keep track of what is shared externally, so you can be aware of that. But it means that if you do share something externally, just be aware you've done that and then revoke that access at some point when you know you've finished with it. Something that I've seen people do, which is quite a good effect, where it may work for you, and that is once you've done that and shared this folder out, what you could do is you can go in here and change the folder color. And sometimes they might make it like a red color, you can see like that. And that just signifies that we know it's a quick reference point to say that is externally shared. It's not linked to the fact that it's externally shared. It's just for you. So you can say if you've made the folder red, you know you've shared it externally. As I say, that may work for you, it may not, but it's just a little handy little tip that may be something that's relevant. You just change it back when you've finished with that share. There's something else to make note of here. If we go through Windows Explorer and have a look at our OneDrive, you can see here with our test files, you'll notice that next to this file, it's got a picture of a person. And this indicates to you that it is shared with somebody. Could be many, could be one, but it's just got the little tag next to it. So if you look at other files that you might find, so we go in here, you can see these do not have any little tags next to them. If we just go in there and have a look at the files themselves, you'll find that they don't have little tag, so they are not shared out, whereas this guy he does. So then of course you go into the manage access and you'd manage that one appropriately. But it's a good a quick and easy reference to see what is shared when you're looking at a file structure like that. So thank you for watching. Hopefully that was useful in terms of sharing files inside OneDrive and in Teams, and we'll talk to you on the next video. Thank you.